The ANZ Truckometer is an economic indicator we developed about 4 years ago, and it uses traffic data from around New Zealand to tell us where the economy is now and where it might be heading over the next half year or so. Well, I guess when you're an economist, you do sometimes look at the world through a slightly different lens. And when I'm on the road, I saw trucks full of imports, trucks full of exports going to the port. You see courier vans that are busy. You see people delivering pizzas, that's part of consumption. You see trucks going to building sites to build things. This is all different aspects of the economy. And so I wondered if maybe we could get some data on the traffic, and it turns out that the Transport Agency has been collecting this data since about 2002 all over New Zealand, and it is actually a pretty good economic indicator. So it turns out that the Transport Agency can tell from the pattern of axles whether it's a big truck or a double truck or a van or a car. So it's quite detailed information. And what we found is that the heavy traffic index tends to reflect what's happening in the economy right now. We produce something, we need to get it to the port to export it or to the shop to consume it. The light traffic, on the other hand, reflects people going to work. It reflects how busy courier drivers are and tradespeople, that kind of thing. For various reasons, it actually gives you a bit of a lead on economic activity going forward. And so we found the best way to deal with this data was to split it into two indices, the heavy traffic index and the light traffic index. And they each have about a dozen roads selected from around the country to most closely match economic activity. Well, like any economic indicator, it has its hits and misses. It can also be quite volatile month to month, but I think that actually does reflect the New Zealand economy is quite volatile. It's an agricultural-based economy, and timing impacts, weather, all that sort of thing push the economy around. They push around the truckometer as well. But what we've found is that it can give a really good early steer on where the economy is going, and GDP in particular. Well, the New Zealand economy is always evolving, and since the 2002 period where this traffic data begins, we've seen phenomenal growth in the dairy industry, and now we're seeing a bit of a slowdown there while the tourism industry has really lifted, for example. Both of those things will be captured in the heavy traffic, for example, whether it's milk trucks or whether it's tourist buses. But we do need to keep adapting the truckometer to make sure it is reflecting the structure of the New Zealand economy. And we do that by changing the weights on the roads in a very structured, gradual fashion, just to make sure it stays up to date and of timely relevance to our customers.